Fair enough.
Oh, it's just jumping right into it. That's not what I wanted it to do. Used to give me a little bit more of an option. So let me try to do this on my phone. Or I might actually ask Caleb to do this. Or Nathan. Can you see it going through?
I can, yes.
You can.
Yes,
Alright.
yes. I see the stream,
Alright, what
a
on
live
earth?
stream before the ends.
Okay, well that's not what it's supposed to say. Can you change that? Can someone... Are
Uh,
you logged in? Can you change
I
it?
probably could, yeah. I
Yeah,
could
if you
probably
don't
change it real quick.
mind.
yeah, I'm not logged in. I'm on my
Hi everybody, we don't
panel.
know what we're doing. This is the first live stream I've
Yeah.
done on this computer, and I didn't set anything up ahead of time, so we apologize for messing it up and confusing everybody. That
Bear
was
with
not the
us.
intent.
Please
There,
hold.
there it is. Linus, that's an old... Can you think you can... You have the Wawa Cup Series logo. You think you can change the thumbnail too?
Uh,
Uh, I'm
That's
not sure
really
if I
old
do.
stuff.
I do not have the Wawa Cup Series logo, but I could find it.
Alright, this is what we're gonna
Maybe.
do. I'll do that.
Hey, what should I change the title to exactly?
2026 NR2003 Wawa Cup Series Draft and Preview.
Alright.
Alright. I should probably go ahead and pop out the chat. It used to be that I could like change all of that in OBS, and I thought it was going to ask me before I hit go live, and turns out that that's not the case.
Apparently, that's not how they do it anymore.
No, it's not.
Let's
It's a
see,
shame.
actually. I might have something. Let's see.
Da, da, da. Stream settings. Alright, are you changing the title?
I have got the title changed. I just need to save it. I'm looking
Okay.
to see if I do have any
And then
thumbnail
what we
materials.
want now is... Why are you saying hi to yourself, Nathan?
Because why not?
Okay, yeah.
Hi, Nathan.
Yes. Hi, current Nathan.
Edit. Okay, I got the thumbnail. We're gonna change the thumbnail.
Okay.
Wawa Cup Series logo. We're gonna save that. There we go. Now it looks official.
Yeah.
All right.
There
Hi,
we go.
everybody. Hello, everybody. It's hello, everybody. That's what we were supposed to say.
Hey, you know what? It's 7 o'clock. It worked out.
Yes, it did. We apologize for the technical difficulties that we had there. That was not what we intended. But now you know what we're doing. So we're excited for it, and we're excited for the Wawa Cup Series here in 2026, aren't we, guys? And also the Wawa National Series, also the
Yes.
Herd Sprint Series. And you know, I 3 weeks ago, I was kind of in the I don't know if I can pull this off mode. Well, thanks to the wonderful help from a lot of people, we have found ourselves in a position where we are good to go. We're ready to go, and we're going to have a great 2026 season. Going to run the 4th season of the Wawa Cup Series, and we're also going to get to the 100th Wawa Cup Series race this season as well, which is also very exciting. And we appreciate all of you. Yeah, I know it's a black screen. I know it's a black screen, Stuart. I haven't gotten there yet.
Hi,
We're,
Stuart.
we're having some technical difficulties. You'll see it in a moment. Don't worry. Live. I can't multitask to save my life. It's awful. Did someone already post this? Someone already posted this.
I tried, but it didn't work. I don't know why, but when I post the YouTube
You had
links,
like a
doesn't.
longer link there, and I'm not entirely sure what went on
I
there.
I don't know. It's weird.
All right, now we're gonna show something to you here, and we're going to make sure we don't spoil any of the results before we do this. Man, we're off to a wonderful start tonight, aren't we? Let's get it all out of the way now. I don't even know what I want to hit. I want to hit slideshow. All right.
It be like that sometimes.
Yes. There you go. Now you're seeing something. And welcome
Huzzah.
everybody to the 2026 Wawa Cup Series draft results. We're also going to preview the season a little bit as well. 2 weeks from now, we're going to have ourselves the 4th running of the Meliolo Smooth Fest at the New Smyrna Speedway. It's probably like the 10th, 11th, 12th running of the Smooth Fest in its entirety, but we're very excited for it. And, of course, we're excited for tonight as well, because once we're done with this at 8 o'clock tonight, we got ourselves the first race of the season, Body Armor Pro Series. You're in that, Caleb. Nathan called it with me with Andrew. A lot of fun from South Boston tonight, so highly recommend checking that out in less than an hour. We're going to be doing that, and it was a great race from the South Boston Speedway. But of course, a lot of y'all are wondering where you're going to be. We're going to reveal the results of the Wawa Cup Series draft and the Wawa National Series draft tonight as well. Caleb's going to do that. That's why he's here with us tonight, and Nathan's here because he's kind of the third person on this team. And before I really get started with any of this here tonight, I also want to give a huge thank you to Hergel Alonso for doing a lot of the graphics, a lot of the cars, the tracks that you're going to see. He went all out in doing so much work for us behind the scenes to make this look what it is. So a huge congratulations, a huge thank you, huge thank you to Hergel. What are we congratulating you for doing an excellent job? That's what we're doing. Huge thanks to Hergel for doing all that, and he really is kind of what makes this what it is, and makes it the production that it is. So would not be able to do it without him, and would not be able to do it without all you guys. And I mentioned this earlier, about 4 weeks ago, I was thinking to myself, I don't know how I'm going to pull this off, but all you guys wanted this to happen. You've all been so supportive, and you've all been very excited to get this started, and we're excited to get it started. And really kind of getting it started tonight. We had signups last week. 9 drivers in the Wawa Cup Series that do not have a ride at the current moment, and 9 open teams. And of course, it doesn't end up doing what I want it to. But here we go. These are the teams and the order in which they're going to be picking, and the 9 drivers that are available here in the Wawa Cup Series 2026 draft. We got ourselves Dracoan Racing Enterprises Owen Miles team picking first, Ryan Durrani picking second, Racing Motorsports and Aaron Abel picking third, Heartland Motorsports, I meant to say Heartland Racing, my apologies to Nathan Meyer there. I've been making that mistake. It's Heartland Racing and Mahendra Motorsports, still the same team. Mahendra Motorsports picking fifth, Heartland Racing picking again in 6th, Dracoan picking 7th, Mahendra Motorsports picking 8th, and Durrani with the last pick, so whoever's left, Durrani gets that one. And here are our drivers who signed up for the Wawa Cup Series here in 2026. Aaron Lukes, BB Ruiz, Carson Green, Carson Miller, Christian Master, Johnson Jameson, Mateus Bento, Sarah Taylor, and Skep Silver. And wouldn't you know, 2 of those drivers on that list made their first career start in the very first race almost 11 years ago. Aaron Lukes and Christian Master, so great to still have them around, and they're going to be full-time in the Wawa Cup Series. This is going to be Aaron Lukes' first season full-time in the Wawa Cup Series. And before we reveal the picks, Caleb, I'm going to give you a pick. You're not a team owner anymore. Obviously, you're running the National Series. But if you were a team owner and you had a choice here, who would you pick of those 9 guys going into the season?
I mean, of course, there's definitely a lot of strong names, like you're talking about Aaron Lukes, Christian Master, excuse me. I'm tripping over myself, too. But absolute veterans of the channel there. You got Skep Silver as well, who was really strong in the Truck Series last season. But, I mean, honestly, I think I'd have to go with Carson Miller. I mean, we signed him to the 50 car last year, and he did a really great job in that Uncharted car. I'd definitely like to see what he can do this time around, and I'm excited to see who he does end up going to and how he does this time around. I'm sure he will definitely do great as he did last season, but like I said, got a lot of strong names here in this draft, and I'm very excited to see how everyone will do.
We're excited to see how it goes down, so let's not keep you waiting any longer. Does somebody have the little thing, the little sound bite?
I do not. I do not.
I do not.
Oh, crud. Someone else does. They're not with us tonight here. We're in our own private call, but you can just imagine the sound. All right,
I mean, I can do
a
sound.
Well, okay, we're not. That doesn't. that doesn't quite have the feels. The little jingle. We like the little jingle. All right, pick number 1, Dracoan Racing Enterprises, and with the first pick of the 2026 Wawa Cup Series Draft, Owen Miles and Dracoan Racing Enterprises. I know, it's not the NFL draft, John. I'm sorry. We don't have it. We did not prepare for this.
Stuart.
Sorry. With the
Sorry,
first
I
pick,
don't have Nitro. I did. But
Dracoan Racing Enterprises selects Skip Silver, number 1 pick, to drive the number 81. And Skip Silver won a Truck Series race. Caleb, you know all about that with Parker Davis Enterprises?
Parker Davis Enterprises at Iowa.
Yes, so we know how good of a driver he is. It was his second season in the Truck Series. This is going to be his first full-time season in the Cup Series, and we're excited to see what Skep can do. It's going to be a lot of fun seeing him drive that 81 for Dracoan Racing Enterprises. All right, pick number 2, Durrani Racing. Of course, this team had a lot of success last year. Won the Turkey Hill Truck Series Championship with Matthew Hubert, and got a race victory there with the driver of Andrew Miller at Rockingham. Of course, 2 slots open for Durrani. He's got pick number 2, and he's going to get the last driver, but he got the pick. And this is a good pick here. So with the second pick of the 2026 Wawa Cup Series Draft, Ryan Durrani and Durrani Racing select veteran Christian Master in the number 78. And I mentioned this is one of the few guys who is in the first race on the channel all the way back in the day, a veteran of the Wawa Cup Series. He's gotten a win before in the series. It's a pretty solid pick if you're Ryan Durrani.
Definitely, like you said, a veteran there. And hey, if their Truck Series performance last year was any indicator, I'd maybe watch out for that team this year.
Going to be a lot of fun watching those guys and seeing what they do with their veteran driver and whoever else ends up getting the ride. Pick number 3. This is Racing Motorsports, Aaron Abel. Not necessarily the best of seasons that they would have hoped for last year, but we'll see what they can do this year. They're returning Brian Webb to the 43, and they got an open pick. This is the only open slot for Racing Motorsports. And he had a pretty good assortment of drivers to pick right here. So with the third pick in the 2026 Wawa Cup Series Draft, Aaron Abel and Racing Motorsports select Carson Miller to drive the 41. And full time there for Carson Miller. Of course, you mentioned him, Caleb. He drove for you guys at Appalachia last year in the part-time ride. Did an excellent job. Carson Miller going to be full time. I'm sure that is going to be a great fit there at Aaron Abel's team in Racing Motorsports.
Absolutely. That could definitely be a sleeper there.
Yeah, I really like that pick. I see a lot of potential in Carson Miller. So that could be that could be a sleeper top 15, top 20 car. And maybe even a fringe chase contender. So I do like that pick a lot from Racing Motorsports.
We'll have to see how that ends up shaking out for him there. And my apologies for forgetting that the Racing Motorsports team won the Daytona 500 last year with the driver of Eric Monaco, who's going to be attempting. I think did Hairgel already announce this? I don't want to give it away in the hot seat. But we're looking forward to seeing what he can pull off in the 2026 season there, Carson Miller. And thank you, Warren, for the super chat. Distracted me there when I was reading Eric Monaco's comment right there. This is I'm out of it, guys. We'll lock in when we call these races here this season. It's going to be a lot of fun. Don't worry. All right. Pick number 4, and I did it again. I am so sorry to Nathan Meyer for getting this wrong. It is Heartland Racing. It's not Heartland Motorsports. I'm sorry, but Heartland Racing, Nathan Meyer's team. This is one of the 2 new teams, not necessarily new teams, but just outright new owners. Actually, one of 3 who were not a driver in the past. Hallie Anderson Jr. also an owner in the series, and she's going to be driving or owning Anderson Jr. Enterprises. Of course, that team already has their 2 drivers, but Heartland Motorsports, Heartland Racing, and Mahindra Motorsports. Those are the 2 teams. Completely new to the series in a way. They did race some hot seat races last year, attempt some races. But Nathan Meyer, Heartland Motorsports, of course, going to be in an alliance there with Brendan Wilmington and John Andrews. And Nathan Meyer with the 4th pick of the 2026 Wawa Cup Series Draft. Heartland Racing and Nathan Meyer select Aaron Lukes to drive the number 67. How about that? Ran in the very first race on AG, the channel, over 11 years ago. Great to see Aaron Lukes in a full-time ride. And let me tell you something, Brennan is kind of the brains behind this operation at what they call Team Warp, the Western America Motorsports Partnership. I think I got that right. I would watch out for Aaron Lukes and this team. They might be finding themselves getting some good runs there in that 67 machine here in the 2026 season.
Yeah, I definitely agree that that's another one that, like I mentioned about Carson Miller, could be a sleeper of being a fringe chase contender. Also, it's 2026. That means it's still 2025.
We're not even acknowledging it. So many of the races are 67 laps long, and they've been for over a decade. It was cool on our end before it was cool with everybody else. All right. Pick number 5, and this is the last team in the draft. Of course, we did a first round and a second round, so everyone got to pick once before any other team picked a second time. Mahindra Motorsports. This is one of the independent teams, even though they are Toyota. They're not part of the Team Warp Alliance. But pick number 5, Rashi Mahendra's team here. Very excited to see how this ends up going down, because I feel like this team could be very good as well. So many good teams coming into the series here. So with the 5th pick in the 2026 Wawa Cup Series draft, Rashi Mahindra and Mahindra Motorsports select Johnson Jameson to drive the number 42.
Let's go.
And Johnson Jameson absolutely deserves it. Attempted every single race last year, did not qualify for one. He will not have to worry about that this year. He's guaranteed in all 32 races, plus the Mellow Yellow Smooth Fest. So we're going to see Johnson Jameson in some Wawa Cup Series races here in 2026, which is awesome to see. All right, pick number 6, Heartland Racing. I got it right this time. Like I said, apologies to Nathan Meyer for getting that wrong. It's Heartland Racing. And they're going to be the first team to pick a second time. So who's going to be the teammate to the driver, the number 67 of Aaron Lukes, with the 6th pick in the Wawa Cup Series draft? Nathan Meyer and Heartland Racing select rookie Carson Green. And Nathan, please help me out here. I don't know if he has made a start before on the channel, but it's my understanding that he has not. And this is going to be his first start 2 weeks from now in the Mellow Yellow Smooth Fest, driving that 84 for Nathan Meyer's team.
Definitely like that pick. Let me look at the Pro Series from last year. I think he might have.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. I don't know. That's Carson Miller. No, he did not.
All right, so it'll be a first career start. We have 2 drivers who are going to be making their first career starts next 2 weeks from now at the New Smyrna Speedway. Going to be a lot of fun watching that Smooth Fest and seeing all these guys on track for the first time. But Carson Green full-time for Nathan Meyer's team. We'll see what he does. You know, Drew Webb was a rookie in 2023. We didn't know anything about him. Won the Wawa Cup Series championship. You never know with these rookies. And a lot of the guys, as a matter of fact, all the guys who have won a Wawa Cup Series championship did not make a start on the channel prior to 2023. So just keep that in mind. Blaine Keys came close that 1 year. But these newer guys from the past couple of years who have had the success, so watch out for the rookie driver. Pick number 7, going back to Dracoan Racing Enterprises, and of course this is Owen Miles' team. And of course he already picked Skep Silver to drive the 81, so who's going to drive the 31? With pick number 7 of the 2026 Wawa Cup Series draft, Owen Miles and Dracoan Racing Enterprises select another first-time rookie, Mateus Bento, to drive the number 31. So Mateus Bento, Carson Green, they are the 2 drivers who will be making their first career starts on AG, the channel, 2 weeks from now in the Mellow Yellow Smooth Fest. Don't know anything about this guy. So how do you think it's going to play out with Dracoan picking a true rookie to the channel?
Like you were talking about, Drew Webb going into the 2023 Cup Series season, a rookie, and I'm pretty sure Ludovic Charette went into 2024 as a rookie as well, I believe.
2023,
so, yeah,
she did not win.
24. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, like these drivers, they've gone into the Wawa Cup Series without too much experience, but have really been able to show their skills and talents. These rookie drivers are definitely ones to watch out for, and I'm excited to see what Mateus as well as Carson Green can do this season. They're definitely going to be some really fun ones to watch.
They will be. All right.
Absolutely.
We're going to have ourselves 2 more teams left to go here in the 2026 Wawa Cup Series draft. Mahindra Motorsports gets pick number 8. There's only 2 drivers remaining, so we'll cut to the chase here with pick number 8 of the 2026 Wawa Cup Series draft. Rashi Mahendra and Mahendra Motorsports select Sarah Taylor to drive the number 60. Going to be teammates there with Johnson Jameson. Sarah Taylor's tried to be in the Cup Series for a long time as a full-time driver. She's finally gotten the opportunity, and she's going to be doing so with the Toyota team of Mahendra Motorsports.
Definitely going to be interesting to see what Sarah Taylor can do now that they've finally gotten themselves here a spot in the Cup Series, and hey, behind the wheel of a pretty good team there, I would say as well. Mahendra Motorsports definitely showed some promise in the previous Truck Series season, so I'm excited to see what they can do.
And of course, Durrani with the last pick there. It's going to be Bibi Ruiz in the 86. And this is a driver who we've seen quite a bit on the channel before as well, like Sarah Taylor, both getting their first runs as full-time drivers in the series. And Bibi Ruiz replacing Andrew Miller, who made the chase in that 86 machine last year. I'm definitely excited to see what he can do. All right, Caleb. They've heard enough of me completely butchering this up tonight. It's now up to you. I'll keep... I should have been sharing my screen to you guys, so I'm actually going to quickly do this so you kind of have an idea of where this is at on your end, Caleb. So give us 1 second here while we set this up for him so he can get an idea of what we're doing here. And we're going to do that, and we're going to go back to doing this. So I'm assuming you can see it, Caleb, just fine.
Yep.
That's good. That's good. Now we want to go, whoops, not going back too much there. And we're going to go ahead, turn that back on. All right, Wawa National Series draft results. Of course, we got the Wawa Cup Series. That is going to be the main series, but the Wawa National Series is going to be, in a way, our version of what is now the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. Going to take me a second to get used to that.
Same.
Yes.
Same.
Hey, a lot of good things coming up in NASCAR here this year. I'm excited, and we'll talk about that later. But we're really excited for this series, and I know you are very excited for this, Caleb. And a little context as to how this kind of came to be. I had this idea of running a second series for a little bit. Some guys suggested that it would be a good idea, especially considering the interest that we have in the Wawa Cup Series, and I thought it'd be nice to kind of have like a second division of the Wawa Cup Series, and that is essentially what this is. We're running the next-gen car, next-gen schemes and all that, but different teams, different drivers. Caleb, I wanted him to have something that I knew was going to be successful. Haas IndyCar Series is great, and Caleb did an excellent job with it, but it didn't quite have the pizzazz, and that was not Caleb's fault. It's just the nature of that series and the way we had it set up. I'll be taking that back over this year, going to tweak some things, make it interesting, but this, I know you all are going to be loving this one, the Wawa National Series, and Caleb, excited to see how this series goes. I know you're excited for it, and take it away. Here we go with the drivers and the teams that we've got here in this series, and in this Wawa National Series draft, 17 open slots with these 17 drivers.
Thank you, Alex. I'm definitely looking forward to running this series. It's going to be a whole ton of fun. It's going to be we got a really interesting selection of teams and drivers in this series. Of course, you got Wawa Cup Series owners coming down to drive. You've got drivers in this series going up to own and everything. It's just so interesting to see how this offseason has come to fruition, but I think it's going to make for a very, very exciting season in both Cup and National. But yeah, looking on your screen here, we got all the teams that drafted and all the drivers that were in the draft. And we're starting things off for the draft with the first pick. It was Polar Star Motorsports. They're owned by Nathan Smith. Of course, with this being the first season of the National Series, all the draft order was pretty much randomized. But yeah, you got Polar Star Motorsports there picking first. Silly Thing Racing is going to be picking second. Of course, team owned there by Sarah Taylor. BR Racing, of course, Bernardo de Oliveira's team there picking third. And then Silly Thing with the fourth pick and Polar Star with the fifth pick. Podium Zero Racing is going to be picking sixth. That team, I believe, owned by, let's see, I believe that's a team.
Johnson Jameson.
Yeah, Johnson Jameson's team there. I have to pull the sheet up real quick. I might need to do that. Yeah, Podium Zero Racing there, owned by Johnson Jameson. Excited to see what they can do this season. They've already got one driver signed, but still another seat to fill there, and that's where they went to the draft. And then we got Race Aces there, owned by Emily York Watson. Of course, your reigning Lenovo Series champion and Christmas Eve Showdown champion, ran by yours truly. But, yeah, excited to see what they can do this season. Then we got BR Racing with the 8th pick. Dutch Atlantis Racing, pretty well-known team there, owned by Rogel Dorn. They're picking ninth. OSC Racing there, owned by BB Ruiz, will get the 10th pick with Bishop Racing Group there, owned by Lewis Bishop, really good friend with Eddie Debs and Duncan Ward. They'll be picking 11th on this draft. You got Broke Boys Garage there picking 12th. That's definitely going to be some hot commodity there. The team owned by Braden Perez. You got Avalon Racing owned by Mr. Edge himself, Nicholas Zamidio picking 13th, with OSC Racing getting pick number 14, Avalon 15, Race Aces 16, and Bishop Racing Group with the 17th pick in the draft. And then you, on the right-hand side, you've got all the drivers in the draft. And yeah, like I was talking about, we definitely have quite the interesting assortment of drivers here, and I think that's really just going to make this season so much fun. Here in this draft, we got Hallie Anderson Jr., Alexis Selspin, Marcus Glitch, Xander Jeffrey, Campbell Marsh, Freya von Lundquist, Herzl Alonso, Nicholas Cameron, Michael Lewis, Reggie Fogelman, Andy Green, Kyler Sustry, Derek Hamill, Larry Darwin, Trey Wright, David Dixon, and Henry Jack Brown here for the 2026 Wawa National Series Draft. Definitely excited to see how this season will play out, but I guess before we do end up getting all that said and done, we need to see who's going where. So, with all of that being said, with the first pick of the 2026 Wawa National Series Draft, Polar Star Motorsports decided to select Alexis Selspin. What a surprise there. Developmental driver there for Matt Tuck. And that's definitely going to be, I think, quite the dangerous combination there. Excited to see what Alexis can do behind the wheel of that number 84 machine. Definitely going to be a lot of fun there for Nathan Smith, Alexis Selspin, and Matt Tuck.
That's going to be a lot of fun. And I think, I don't know if you mentioned this, Caleb, but there's a lot of guys who are owners in the Wawa Cup Series driving this series. Ludovic Schrett's going to be a driver here in the National Series, so we're really going to get a full and true feel of how a lot of these rookie drivers are going to fare against guys like Ludovic, Alexis Selspin, of course, development driver to Matt Tuck. You know those guys know what they're doing. Going to be a lot of fun watching it all go down in the National Series.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, we got Matt Tuck as Alexis Selspin. You got, like you said, Ludovic Schredt. You got Nathan. You're driving in this season as well.
Yes, I forgot.
Behind the wheel of the 19.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting with all of these Wawa Cup Series owners jumping in, and also these some of these true rookies that we don't really know about. Some drivers from the Sprint Series and Pro Series I did last year made it in, and then you also got some returns like Derek Campbell and Trey White. So it's definitely going to be interesting. It's kind of like a hodgepodge of who's who and who could be next here on the channel. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's just like what I said. What's making this series so interesting, and what's honestly making me so excited to finally get this season underway from Homestead Miami Speedway in the coming weeks on February 5th. But going on here through the draft with pick number 2, of course, it was Silly Thing Racing there, owned by Sarah Taylor. And for pick number 2, they decided to go with David Dixon. Going to be piloting the number 45 Wendy's Camry for Silly Thing Racing. Of course, David Dixon was in the Turkey Hill Truck Series last season, driving for OSC Racing and BB Ruiz. He won the season opener at Daytona, had quite a couple good runs that season as well. Had a good finish at Charlotte, I remember, as well as I think a lot of other good finishes. So David Dixon definitely knows what he's doing here behind the wheel, and definitely excited to see what he can do this season.
Yeah, I mean, he got that opening win in the Truck Series, and I think there's a lot of potential there with David Dixon going into the 2026 season. So excited to see how this whole team does, and there's so many of these teams and drivers in the National Series we just don't really know much about. So it's going to create for a very unique season going into 2026.
Absolutely. All right. Moving on here to pick number 3. Of course, BO Racing there, and Bernardo de Oliveira. Excited to see what that team can do this season, and they have got a roster consisting of, first of all, with pick number 3 in the 2026 Wawa National Series Draft, BO Racing is deciding to go with Marcus Glitch, going to be driving the number 80 Chalpinzol Chevrolet for BO Racing.
Yeah, Marcus Glitch is definitely a driver to watch out for this season. I'm intrigued to see what he does, because he did pretty good in the Light Series West, got the finale win over there, and we know Bernardo de Oliveira, pretty solid owner there, and solid driver in the Wawa Cup Series, so there's definitely going to be a lot of potential there with those guys.
Absolutely. I think Marcus Glitch could be a decent shot. I know last year he did 5 races in the sprint series and won 2 out of the 5. So I know that's the equal weighting series, but maybe he could translate that into the series. Gotta see of how it all goes down, but Marcus Glitch gonna be interesting of how that pairing works with BL Racing.
It'll definitely be interesting to see how that does end up shaking out. Definitely think Marcus Glitch has quite a lot of potential there. So excited to see what he can do behind the wheel there in that number 80 machine for BO Racing. But moving right along with pick number 4, for Silly Thing Racing and Sarah Taylor with the 4th pick. So they'll be closing out their lineup right here. So they decided to go with driving the number 15. It's Hallie Anderson Jr. piloting the number 15 IKEA Camry for Silly Thing Racing.
Yeah, intrigued to see what she can do there behind the wheel. Of course, she's going to be an owner in the Wawa Cup Series, so have one of these owners that's going to be driving. Of course, we have a few owners in the Wawa Cup Series driving here in the National Series, but going to be an interesting combination there at Silly Thing Racing to see what they can do here in the 2026 season.
Definitely going to be quite the intriguing lineup there. Excited to see what Anderson and Dixon can do there behind the wheel. It's definitely going to be a lot of fun to see how they do. But yeah, that's the lineup there for Silly Thing Racing, and we'll be closing out another lineup here with this next pick. Pick number 5 with Polar Star Motorsports. They went for Alexis Selspin there for the first pick of the draft. And for pick number 5, Polar Star Motorsports and Nathan Smith for the number 48 machine decided to go with... How about this? Trey Wright.
Trey Wright's back. Yeah,
Trey Wright is back, and this time he's full-time.
Yeah, this is going to be awesome to see. Hey, he won the Watkins Glen race last year. I actually tend to forget that happened.
You know it.
Yes, you know it. It was for your team. Of course you know it. Called the 2.4 Hours of Daytona with him the other night. That's going to be going up next Friday night. Fun little thing we're going to do. We're actually going to do a collaboration, and it's going to appear on his channel, North American Sim Racing Network, and here on AG the channel as well. So we're excited for that coming up here in a week's time. But great to see Trey Wright in a full-time ride. This is going to be a lot of fun. And especially on a good team there. Polar Star Motorsports, part of the GRT Alliance there. Nathan Smith, of course, driving for Parker Davis. Big organization there. They're going to have a lot of resources to do a great job in this Wawa National Series season.
Yeah, absolutely great to see Trey back in the full-time ride here on AG the channel. And let's see what he can do with Polar Star Motorsports.
It's going to be exciting to see what he can do. Polar Star definitely has quite the lineup there with Alexis Selspin and Trey Wright. It's definitely going to be very interesting to see what they can do. Pick number 6 of the draft, of course, went to Pro Team Zero Racing there, owned by Johnson Jameson. Of course, Bradley Ream there will be driving the number 66 for that team, but they still got one more seat to fill, and the honor of that will be going to... Reggie Fogelman will be driving the number 64 Ally Racing Chevrolet for Pro Team Zero Racing and Johnson Jameson. Definitely quite a good pick there. Excited to see what Reggie can do behind the wheel there for that team.
It's going to be fun to see him as a driver. Of course, he's been an owner the past few years, but really haven't seen too much of him as a driver the past few years. Going to be a lot of fun seeing him behind the wheel here in this series and taking up against a lot of these other guys.
I'm definitely excited to see what Reggie can do here behind the wheel. That number is 64. Like you're talking about, we've usually seen him as a driver, of course, owner of Trackhouse Racing. Going to be interesting to see how Trackhouse does this season across the channel, and definitely excited to see what Reggie can do here as a driver, driving that number 64. But moving up next for pick number 7, we have Race Aces, of course, owned there by Emily York Watson. And for pick number 7 of the draft, they are going to go with Michael Lewis. Going to be potting the number 73 there for Race Aces, of course, winner of the Top Dragster Open last season. Which that's definitely something, I guess, to put out there. Top Dragster Open going to be back again this year. Excited to see how that ends up playing out.
Yeah, either sign-ups for that or tomorrow night, I'm pretty sure. If I'm not mistaken.
I think so, yeah.
Discord, so definitely check that out. Of course, Andrew doing that again for a second straight year. We're very excited for that. And excited to see Michael Lewis in a full-time ride here in a rating series as well. I think it's going to be pretty fun to see what Michael Lewis can do in the 73 machine. Emily York Watson, owner of this team. Going to be interesting to see what she can do, of course, and I'm looking forward to this. Michael Lewis is a guy that might sneak a couple of wins if they find it all out well enough. But excited for this one and these guys, the race aces.
Absolutely. Excited of how this pairing works out.
Definitely going to be interesting to see how this pairing does work out. I think it's definitely going to be very fun to watch and excited to see what Michael Lewis can do there behind the wheel of that number 73. Up next, BO Racing, Bernardo de Oliveira with the 8th pick. Of course, they went with Marcus Glitch earlier. He will be driving the number 80 Shell Pennzoil Chevrolet. And for the number 40 Taco Bell Chevrolet, it will be Xander Jeffrey. Piloting the number 40 there for BO Racing. Of course, I know a lot of you all might know him as Marco Zandretti, but of course, tow car references aside and everything, Xander definitely has quite a lot of experience within our 2003 offline, and is going to be a rookie, I believe, at least full-time this season, so definitely going to be excited to see what he can do.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this as well. I didn't know that about Xander, and his experience in the series.
Mario, excuse me.
But not in the series, but in NR as well, so... I'm excited to see what goes down, and it's a solid team there with Bernardo de Oliveira, so I'd watch out for these guys in that 40 team.
Definitely, I like that. I mean, I'm interested in how this works out. I know Xander Jeffrey did 12 races last year, don't remember what team, in the Lenovo Pro Series, so definitely a name I have seen the last couple of months, so I'm excited of what we can do in a rain series in 2026.
Definitely going to be fun to watch Xander here this season, and just overall going to be excited to see what BO Racing can do there with Xander and Marcus Glitch there behind the wheel. Pick number 9 of the draft, of course, going to Dutch Atlantis Racing. This is, I also think, one of those seats that was definitely going to be a hot commodity. Of course, they got Aaron Abel on this team driving the number 4 machine. And driving the number 14 machine for Dutch Atlantis Racing and Rogel Dorn, it's going to be the man behind all the graphics and everything you see on the channel, Hergel Alonso. Gonna be potting that number 14 Shell Ford for Dutch Atlantis Racing.
And,
That's a good pick.
Yeah, it definitely is. And he's going to be teammates with Aaron Abel, which is, pretty cool. And I think Rogel was seeing something there, because Hergel and Aaron do work very well together there. And Hergel's going for that first road course win. We got 3 road courses on the schedule for the National Series?
I do believe so.
Yeah, so I feel like he's got potential with this team, because this team as well is under the GRT banner now that Rogel's driving there for Intersys Motor Racing. So Hergel's in a good ride, and of course we know Hergel knows what he's doing. And this is going to be good. Now, this could be a sleeper pick for the title. I don't want to jinx it on him, but there's definitely a lot of potential there with this combination.
Yeah, he took the words right out of my mouth. I do think this could be one of the many sleeper picks for a easily top 10 points finish in the year, and probably one of many title favorites throughout the 2026 National Series season.
Definitely. I think that could definitely be quite the dangerous combination there over at Dutch Atlantis Racing. Really excited to see what they can do. Of course, Rogel, we know that he knows what he's doing. Aaron Abel, Hergel Alonso, we know they know what they're doing. Already well-established drivers and owners here on the channel alike. And it's definitely going to be very, very exciting to see what that team as a whole can do this upcoming season. Moving along to pick number 10 of the draft. OSC Racing there, owned by BB Ruiz. Going to be interesting to see how that team here does this season. But with the first pick of the draft, or pick number 10 of the draft, their first pick, they are going to go with a returning face to the driver's seat. Derek Hamill going to be piloting the number 58 Toyota for OSC Racing.
And great to see Derek back behind the wheel. Of course, he's got his driver in the IndyCar Series as well. But it's been a while since Derek Hamill himself's actually been behind the wheel, so this is going to be a lot of fun seeing what he can do there with OSC Racing, a team that won Daytona last year in the Truck Series with David Dixon. So this will be a pretty good combination. I think it's going to work out pretty well for him.
It's definitely going to be very interesting to see how this combination does work out. And yeah, like you mentioned, nice to see Derek Hamill just back behind the wheel of a car once again here on the channel. Definitely going to be very exciting and very fun to see him back at it and what he can do. Pick number 11 of the draft going to go to Bishop Racing Group. Of course, like I mentioned, owned there by Lewis Bishop. and good friends there with Duncan Ward and Eddie Debs. Very excited to see what this team can do here this season. But for their first pick here, and pick number 11 of the 2026 Wawa National Series Draft, Bishop Racing Group is going to go with Nicholas Cameron, driving the number 1 A1 Sauce Dodge for Bishop Racing Group and Lewis Bishop.
Yeah, Nicholas Cameron, of course, was in the Light Series. Did pretty well in the Light Series West last year, and this could be a pretty good sleeper pick as well. Of course, Eddie Debs behind this whole team, this whole operation. Of course, Lewis Bishop, the listed owner, but Eddie, of course, kind of behind the whole operation there, and he knows what he's doing. Duncan Ward won the Wawa Cup Series championship last year, so they're going to be a lot of fun to see how it ends up shaking out here for Nicholas Cameron. I think he's on a pretty good organization here for his first time in a big rating series here on AG the channel.
And I do think that could be a solid outing, and I do believe he's been pretty active already in the AG Discord, so I'm looking forward to what he does, and might be one of the underdog drivers that I might root for throughout the season, so looking forward to it.
Yeah, like you're talking about, Alex, this could definitely be quite the interesting duo to watch because, like you're talking about, Duncan Ward, of course, owner of this team, Eddie Debs, and we know he knows what he's doing. Of course, the reigning Wawa Cup Series champion, and Nicholas Cameron definitely showed quite a lot of potential last time out in the Body Armor Light Series with all the rating stuff, so definitely going to be interesting to see what he can do. Definitely going to be a duo to watch out for there. I can definitely tell you all of that, but here we go. Pick number 12 of the draft. This is definitely another big one. Broke Boys Garage, owned there by Braden Perez. And like I said, I knew going in this would be quite hot commodity here in this draft. And they got one of the later picks, so this is definitely going to be interesting to see. But on the side, pick number 12 of the 2026 Wawa National Series Draft, Broke Boys Garage is going to select Henry Jack Brown to drive the number 10 machine. And of course, Henry Jack Brown, he started popping up quite a lot here on the channel throughout the past year. A developmental driver there, of course, from GRT. So definitely going to be really interesting to see what Henry Brown can do behind the wheel at the number 10 Red Bull Ford for Broke Boys Garage.
And Henry Brown, of course, is in the Light Series West last year as well, and had a pretty solid run driving for Grattan. And, of course, once again, another one of these GRT organizations, Broke Boys Garage is going to be pretty solid. And I'm excited to see how it ends up going for Henry Brown. And he's another guy to watch out for because he could very well find himself in some pretty good positions throughout this National Series season.
Definitely going to be really interesting to see what Henry Brown can do here in this season. Definitely going to be a lot of fun. And Broke Boys Garage, like I mentioned, definitely a really good team there. Excited to see what they can do. But here we go. Pick number 13 of the draft goes to Avalon Racing and, of course, Nicholas Sambadio, Mr. Edge, the owner of this team. Going to be exciting to see what this team as a whole can do through this season. But with the 13th pick of the draft and the team's first pick here in the draft, Avalon Racing is going to select Campbell Marsh. Going to be behind the wheel, the number 07 Chevrolet.
Yeah, and I think Campbell Marsh actually won a Light Series race, or came close to it. He was really good in the Light Series East this past season. I actually think he won the finale at Toledo, so Nicholas kind of with a good solid pick here in that 07 machine. I'm excited to see what Nicholas does here as an owner in a rating series. He's been a driver in a rating series for a long time. He's had a lot of success. As a matter of fact, went 4 straight rating series seasons between the Cup Series and Truck Series, finishing top 3 in the point standings, so he knows what he's doing, and I'm excited to see what he can do with his organization, Campbell Marsh being one of his drivers.
Absolutely. Same with you as an owner. I think Marsh will be in a good camp there at Avalon Racing, so we'll see. Like many others, I think this could be a sleeper throughout the year for Campbell Marsh and Avalon Racing.
Definitely. So, pick number 14 to the draft, going to OSC Racing there with that team's second pick. And with that second pick, OSC Racing going to be selecting Andy Green, another rookie there, going to be behind the wheel, the number 57 Toyota for OSC Racing and BB Ruiz.
don't know much about this. This is one of those new drivers, never made a start before, so excited to see how it ends up shaking out here. But going to be a lot of fun seeing how this plays out for these guys at OSC Racing. With Derek Campbell and a new driver, Andy Green. Of course, Derek Campbell going to be a solid driver to bounce off of with his experience, but we'll see what Andy Green can do in that 57 machine.
Definitely quite the fun pairing there over there at OSC Racing. Got a long-established veteran there in Derek Campbell and Andy Green looking to make a name for himself heading into this season. It's definitely going to be exciting to see what this team can pull off here in the upcoming season, but also the fact it's going to be a lot of fun to see how everything does end up shaking out. Moving along here to pick number 15. Of course, going to Avalon Racing's second pick here. And with their second pick, Avalon Racing and Nicholas Samadillo are going to select Freya von Lundquist is going to be driving the number 61, of course, developmental driver to Rasha Mahindra, which, of course, owner of Mahindra Motorsports now in the Wawa Cup Series. So this is definitely going to be quite the interesting pairing here, and definitely excited to see what they can pull off here in this upcoming season.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be interesting. I think this is one of those picks that went way too deep because Rasha Mahindra, I know they know what they're doing with the ratings and all that, going to be a team owner as well in the Wawa Cup Series. Watch out for this, and pairing up with Nicholas Samadillo is a good thing too, and Nicholas is going to definitely give it his all, and it's going to be a fun combination watching this team. Some late picks, but definite sleepers throughout this National Series season between Campbell Marsh and Freya von Lundquist there.
Absolutely. All right, pick number 16. Getting down to it here. Got two more teams, two more drivers to pick from. And with pick number 16 of the draft, Race Aces for their number 75 ride is going to select Kyler Sustry.
Kyler Sustry. I think you misspelled his name there.
I think
they did. Whoops.
There's no way there.
I'm tripping on myself too.
No, it's okay. It happens.
I like that pick. I've been kind of high on Kyle Sustry in my side of things, where if Sustry's in a decent wide, Sustry could do good. And I think that's going to be the case this year in my JBL Cup Series. And I think Race Aces is a pretty active team owner. So, and of course, that Amaze Racer is the, I guess, drive or person behind Emily York Watson, and we saw what Emily did last year on the channel and everything. So that's big for Kyle Sustry, and I'm looking forward to that.
That's definitely going to be quite the interesting pairing there. Race Aces, Emily York Watson and Kyler Sustry. Definitely going to be a lot of fun to see what Kyler and Michael Lewis can do this season for that team. But there we go. That leaves us with pick number 17, Bishop Racing Group. And, of course, with pick number 17, they are going to be going with Larry Darwin. Going to be piloting the number 70 ASDA Dodge for Bishop Racing Group. I believe another rookie going into this season, and it's definitely going to be interesting to see what Larry can do this season as well.
All right, nothing else to say, I guess. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, I had to
No.
turn away for a second.
Well, there you go. There you have it. Whoops, we gave that away a little too quick. I didn't put a buffer on there. Well, yeah, we're excited for the Wawa National Series, and we're excited, of course, for the Wawa Cup Series as well. And we're excited for real life NASCAR, because on Monday they announced probably one of the best things that they've announced in the past 12 years. And I am so happy and so excited for this NASCAR season specifically for this. And they brought back the chase. They just brought it back. And guess what? It actually makes sense. And yeah, I know it's not 100% perfect, but you want to know something? I am going to be so much more locked in on this than I was a year ago. And I think a lot of people are. This is going to be fascinating. Every position's going to matter. The wins are still going to matter a lot. The stage racing is going to matter more than it used to. We don't have that on our end, but it actually makes the stages make a little more sense now, which is great to see. It's going to be a great NASCAR season. And with that, we have decided to modify the Wawa Cup Series points format just a little bit. Honestly, it's not going to really be that much different than what we've seen before, but it's going to mimic and kind of mirror what we've seen or what we will see in the NASCAR Cup Series and all of that this coming season. So this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited to introduce this points format. One thing I will say, I actually ran through the 2025 season with this exact format, and Duncan Ward would have still won the championship. Paulus won the regular season title. He would have gotten that bonus going into the chase, but Duncan Ward had the better season. Of course, he would have kept on going there. But here's how the points are going to work out. You're going to get 50 points for winning now in the Wawa Cup Series, and second place is going to only get 40 points. So there's going to be a 10-point gap. The win's going to mean a lot more this season than it has in years past. We still are going to have the bonus point for leading a lap and another bonus point for leading the most laps. And since we do not have stages in the Wawa Cup Series, wanted to award at least something for running well in the race itself. So we're going to keep that in the points format. And then, once we get done in the chase after 22 races, it's just going to be the 12 drivers who are top 12 in points. And it's funny, before NASCAR announced this format the other day, I was thinking, you know what, I'm going to get rid of the wild cards regardless. So we're just going to go top 12 anyway. And that's actually kind of what they ended up doing. It's just going to be the top 12 drivers in points after 22 races. We're not going to go to 16. We're going to keep it 12. That's how we've had it the past 3 seasons, so I didn't want to change it too drastically. And I think for what we do, 16 is just a bit too much. But with that, we're going to be getting rid of the bonus points for wins and all of that going into the chase, and we're going to seed everybody very similarly to how they're going to do in real life. So we're going to give 2,080 points to the driver who wins the regular season championship. Second in points is going to be 2055. It's going to be a 25-point advantage if you win the regular season title on the rest of the field. And then it's going to be a 5-point increment from third down the 12th all the way down to an even 2,000. So you got to do good in the regular season if you're going to do well in the chase. It's much like how it is in real life, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun to see it play out before they play it out in real life, because we do our chase during the summer. We end the season in mid-September. It's going to be done before they really get started, so we're going to get an idea of what it's going to be like in real life before they do, and I'm very excited to introduce this, and it's going to be a heck of a lot of fun. But the nice thing for us, it's really not that much of a change for us, because we've had the 12 race or the 10 race chase, the 12 drivers in the chase the past 3 seasons. We really love this format in the Wawa Cup Series. You guys really like it. We thought about going full season points. I'll be honest with you guys, if NASCAR on Monday said we're doing full season points, that's what we were going to do as well. But they didn't. They went for the chase, and I figured, you know what, this is a good enough system. We're going to go ahead and use it ourselves. And guys, I know you're excited about this one, Caleb and Nathan, but how do you think this is going to change the Wawa Cup Series going into 2026? I know it's going to be a heck of a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, just in real life, I'm so stinking happy that they brought back the chase, because now I actually care about real life NASCAR a ton more than I have been. And as far as for the World Cup Series, I don't think it's gonna change too much, but that will be interesting on it being where it's not where the top 10 in points make it in, and then 2 wild cards, it's just the top 12. So it doesn't matter if you have 3 wins and the 14th in points. We're not going to make it. So that's going to be really fascinating. It doesn't matter how many wins you have per se, because if someone has 1 win and the 12th, and someone has 4 wins and the 13th, we're out. So definitely going to be interesting. I do like the fact that it's going to be rewarding a ton of points for the win, for the wins, and then obviously, if you win the regular season championship, you get that 25-point buffer on second. So it's not too much different, like you said, Alice, but I do think it's going to be a little bit interesting, and it's going to really drive through the regular season. That, hey, just get as many points as you can with the AI, and just hope that nothing crazy happens, and be top 12 in points.
I definitely think this is going to be quite the interesting change as well. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how it'll play out. Of course, the bonus extra points there for a win definitely put a pretty big emphasis on that, as well as, of course, the bonus points for lap sled and most lap sled. And, of course, the chase bonuses are definitely going to be interesting to watch as well. I guess, in a way, they kind of I guess, reward consistency throughout the season, how you set yourself up going into the chase. So, overall, I think this is definitely some nice changes, and I'm very excited to see how this does end up shaking out, and I definitely think it's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun, no doubt about it. And we're very excited for this upcoming season, and we're excited to see all the guys that we have in the season come back as well. And like I said, I ran through the 2025 season and used the 2026 system. That's how it would have been in the regular season. Those would have been the 12 guys who have made it on. Of course, Daniel Paulus Jr., he would have won the regular season title by 8 points ahead of Ludovic Charette there. And then the final points there, you see Duncan Ward would have won the title by 36 points. It's actually a smaller gap than what it actually ended up being from last season. And here we go. Here are the teams that are going to be racing in the 2026 Wawa Cup Series. And for the first time, I've actually visualized all of the alliances that we have. So, of the 20 teams we've got in the Wawa Cup Series here in 2026, 13 of them are associated with an alliance. Only 7 of them are independent. And you can thank these guys right here for starting this a couple years ago. Grattan Racing Technology, Stuart Grattan, Matt Tuck, Ludovic Charette really kind of came together in the 2024 season and really built something. And everyone saw that. And Nathan, you're part of this with Dodge Nexus. That's a new alliance there between Evans Ross Racing, NS Racing, Team Williams, Triad Racing. Brandon Wilmington started this as well with the Western America Racing Partnership, Team Warp. You got Andrews Racing, Heartland Racing, and Pacific Racing there. And of course, Hairgel did this last year as well. And he's going to be partnering with Racing Motorsports and Aaron Abel again too. So going to be a lot of fun seeing how that all works out. But it's also going to be fun watching these independent teams as well, because not everyone wants to be part of an alliance. Talking about what's going on in the ratings, it does help. But if you know what you're doing, you know what you're doing. And you got these 7 teams here looking to beat that. But you see those 40 drivers, you see those 20 teams. Caleb and Nathan, I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to really give me who you think is going to be the best of the best here in this 2026 season.
Oh man, it's gonna be interesting. I mean, I keep on saying this every year in the Wawa Cup Series. It keeps on getting more and more competitive. It doesn't matter who all signs up, what alliances there are. The grid keeps on getting more and more stacked. So I feel like that's gonna make it so interesting. There's gonna be some really good drivers missing the chase, I think, and that's okay, because you can still have a really good season and miss the chase. Look at Blaine Keys last year. So it's definitely going to be interesting. Honestly, as much as I hate to say it, I think GLT is going to be the alliance to beat all 8 of them. Maybe Dodge Nexus, I might be a little bit biased, but maybe we can do something. I think we got some...
Team Willing, you got the defending champion on your alliance. So.
I mean... That is true. Of course, Jack Haas and Lynn Kochma, those 2 are good. With Echo Evans Watts and her team. Of course, my team, Anna Miller and Zane Davison. I'm really high on Zane Davison. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited for that. And then, of course, so I don't know, Travis Scott, Alexander, who cooked everyone in the series last year outside of the Lane series. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for what Hairgel does. I think that could be kind of interesting. And of course, Team Whoop. But Bryn knows what he's doing. Mm-hmm. So that's definitely going to be good. And as far as the independent teams, a lot of them are new. 2 or 3 of them are new. Time Field, I think, if I'm going to make a pick, I think it's going to be a battle between What Racing, Duani Racing, and Time Fury for the best independent team this season.
Yeah, those are definitely some good organizations right there. Of course, Laura Chung, Rut Racing, they had a great season. Titan Fury kind of fell back a little bit last year from their past success. Of course, they had Drew Webb a few years ago when they won the championship, and of course, Durrani Racing was really good. I'm excited to see how it all goes down. And Caleb, I know you're excited for it, and you're going to be just a fan now. Of course, you're going to see the Wawa National Series. You used to be a part of all this, but what are you looking for here? And who do you think is going to be the best of next season, or this season?
It's definitely going to be a lot of a different experience watching just from the sidelines this time around. But I'm excited to see how it plays out. And yeah, like you all were talking about, I think it's definitely going to be quite competitive. Definitely have a lot of strong driver owner combinations here heading into the season. So it's definitely going to be very interesting to watch. Of course, like you all were talking about, we got all the different alliances. We got Team Morp, Hairzel Alliance, Dodge Nexus, GRT, and even still, I think a lot of the independent teams as well are going to be very, very strong throughout this season. So just overall, I think we are in for quite the competitive season of competition here, and I'm very excited to see how it all plays out. But that's going to be a lot of fun, regardless of how it does end up shaking out. It's going to be a lot of fun, and cannot wait to see how it does end up shaking out.
Going to be a lot of fun here in this 2026 season. And how much fun is it going to be? These are the tracks we're going to. Of course, January 30th, 2 weeks from now, New Smyrna Speedway. We got the Mellow Yellow Smooth Fest. And we start the points-paying season 3 weeks from tonight at the Homestead Miami Speedway and the Wawa 400. And it's great. We did not think about this. Well, we didn't really mention this all night long, but it's great to have the Wawa 400 back being the opening race of the season. It was not last year. Felt a little off starting off the season last year at Auto Club, which that race is still on the schedule, June 26th. But the Wawa 400 going to be opening us up. And we're excited for that. Leading over to the Daytona 500, going to Atlanta. We already announced this, but we're going to Willow Springs instead of Coda. We originally had Coda there, and we scratched it out. We're excited for Willow Springs because that's going to be a lot of fun. We have Phoenix and Vegas and Darlington, and the 100th Wawa Cup Series race is going to be the STP Old Dominion 500 at Martinsville on March 27th. You absolutely want to check that out. That's going to be a lot of fun. That was the third closest finish of 2025. We forgot the Top Dragster Open there. But that is going to be a heck of a lot of fun. And we're excited for it. Rockingham, Bristol, Kansas. Talladega is going to be a little shorter this year. It's only going to be a 40-lap race, so keep that in mind. Texas, Watkins Glen, Dover on a Friday night, Charlotte on a Friday night, Nashville, Michigan, Pocono, Road America, Auto Club, Chicagoland. The Wawa Winter Showdown at the Colorado Motor Speedway fictional track. It's going to be a lot of fun there. We might bring some surprises to that once we get to it on July 7th. And then the chase begins with Atlanta, North Wilkesboro, Indianapolis, Montreal, Iowa, Richmond, New Hampshire, Daytona, Darlington, and of course the finale at Homestead. So we open and close the season at Homestead, moving the Southern 500 to the penultimate race of the season, and it's the Wawa Championship 500 from Homestead on September 13th to crown a champion in the 2026 season. It's almost 8 o'clock, which means we got a Body Armor Pro Series race, but 2 weeks from now, this is how they're going to line up in the Mellow Yellow Smooth Fest. We're very excited for it. Duncan Ward's going to lead us off in the first heat, and what we're going to do on the Smooth Fest this year is determine the main event by the fastest heat. So you want to have a fast heat if you want to get that pole position, and we're going to give the second fastest heat the inside lane behind it in third place, because that inside lane is where you want to be on the short track of New Smyrna. So there's where you have it at New Smyrna Speedway in the Mellow Yellow Smooth Fest, January 30th, 2026. We got a Pro Series race that's about to premiere, so go ahead and check it out. The first race of the season. It's going to be a lot of fun. Final thoughts, Nathan and Caleb, as we look forward to this 2026 season.
So excited for everything. Wawa Cup Series, Wawa National Series, Hot Syndicate Series, Sprint Series. It's going to be a fun year. And it all kicks off early right now with the Body Armor Pro Series. And I was in the booth for that one. Take my word for it. It's a lot of fun. South Boston. It's a lot of fun. So it's definitely going to be a fun year for the Body Armor Pro Series as well. Forgot to mention that. That's a very fun series. And you don't want to miss the first 2 races tonight and next week for the Body Armor Pro Series. I think Caleb had to dip. He has food on the dinner table.
Well, that's it. So thank you all so much for watching. Caleb's got to go racing the Body Armor Pro Series because he's in that one, and you guys got to watch and see how that all goes down. Well, hey, thank you all so much for watching. Sorry we kind of cut it a little close here to the end, but we got our first race of 2026 about to go live now. Head to the channel, check it out. The South Boston Showdown here, the Body Armor Pro Series to kick off the 2026 racing season. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for making this Wawa Cup Series season happen. You all did it, and we are so excited for the 4th season of this series. And I could never imagine it would have grown to what it is, and you guys have made it what it is, and you guys make it so much fun. And we're going to have some fun 2 weeks from now at the Mello Smooth Fest. Thank you guys so much for watching once again. Huge thanks to Kale Rose and Nathan Stavelin for joining me, and enjoy the Body Armor Pro Series from South Boston here tonight on AG of the Channel. I will see you guys later.